Well, everyone, welcome back. Now here I have joined me is the wonderful Mike Zoke, creator of Indie Games Tracker, which we'll talk a little bit about more later. But Mike, what is coming up this week? Obviously, we've had the Indie Games Showcase or the Indie World Showcase from Nintendo. Indie games are hot on everyone's lips once again, thankfully. So what is the stuff that they can maybe dive into this week that maybe they wouldn't have heard of?
Okay, so yeah, we have a lot of some obscure indies on the docket for this week. So we have Achilles Legends Untold, which is a neat-looking isometric Souls-like game set in ancient Greece. You actually play as Achilles himself, which I think is pretty cool, rather than him just being like a side character or someone that you hear in passing, like a lot of games set in this time. And basically, you can team up with other players, so there is a co-op component to it, and you can take down the other fearsome warriors. There's all kinds of mythological beasts that you can hunt down. It looks really cool. So that's actually launching today, May 12th. And it's unfortunately only releasing on Steam as of this time, but they are looking at other platforms for the future. But yeah, it looks really cool. After that, we have Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2. If you've ever heard of Tabs or Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, it's kind of like that, but with slightly more realistic graphics, but just as crazy. I mean, you can have millions of warriors on each side in one battle at a time. So it's not like small simulators. Now there's all kinds of crazy vehicles, soldiers, all kinds of stuff, different eras, different maps. And one thing that I think is really cool is that it also has like a set campaign. So it's not just you having to use your brain to come up with these creative outcomes. You have a campaign that you can go through to kind of learn the basics, which I thought is pretty nice. We also have a game called, it's one of the ones that I'm going to butcher the name of a little bit. It's called Airy, I think, Aery, Airy, A New Frontier, which looks really cool. Out of every game on this list, this one's art direction is probably one of my favorites. But it's just a very relaxing, story-driven flight exploration game. So you are like this big bird creature, and you are just kind of flying through this serene sci-fi environment and kind of discovering the little tidbits that are hidden throughout the world. That's coming to basically all platforms. You've got it on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, Nintendo Switch, and Steam. And that is also dropping today. So you can go ahead and boot that up. After that, we have a little bit of a goofy game. It's called Dogs Donuts. You have a cannon that shoots donuts, and you try to shoot it into a husky's mouth. That's the game.
Amazing.
It is a physics-based puzzle game, and you are trying to get the donuts into the dog's mouth as efficiently as possible. And guess what? It is also out today for Nintendo Switch, or it was already out on PC and PlayStation. It is now releasing today on Nintendo Switch and Xbox as well. So if you have any of those platforms, you can check out this game. I think is adorable. If you like puzzle games and cute dogs, it's worth it. The next one is a little bit of a double punch. So we have Get a Grip Chip and Get a Grip Chip and the Body Bugs. So Get a Grip Chip released a few years ago on PC, but now it's making its way to Xbox, whereas the Body Bugs is releasing for PC and Xbox today. Both of them are kind of a grappling hook based 2D platformer. So you are like a little battery looking thing, and you have a grappling hook on your head, and you can like use it to like launch yourself and grab up off of all these platforms. The second one has a little bit of unique twist to it. Instead of just being like in these kind of mechanical looking settings, you are inside of your own body using Chip, the little robot boy, to awaken the white blood cells that are inside of your body to try and fight this virus that is attacking you. So I thought that was kind of funny. That is out. Both of them are out today. So you can go and download those as well if you'd like. I believe they're also on sale right now for about $2 a pop on Xbox. Infinite Links is an indie JRPG series set in a, your typical rich fantasy world that you'd expect a JRPG to typically have. This premise is that your sister has fallen under some kind of curse, and you are going to explore the world for magic talismans to try and figure out a way to cure her. This is everywhere. And what I mean everywhere, I don't just mean consoles. I mean, it's on your phone too. So you have iOS, Android, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, PS4, PS5, Switch, Steam. It's there. You can download it. You can play it anywhere. After that, we have Gold Hunter. So that is coming out tomorrow, May 13th, or almost today for Odron.
Nice.
This one looks pretty neat. I think people that are into simulators will really dig this. So it's a mining-based realism mining simulator. It's set in like the gold rush time. You have over 60 different locations that you can kind of claim to create your mine at. But there's all kinds of tools, vehicles, contraptions that you can build to get your mine more efficient. There's some slight survival aspects, but the developers themselves have stated that it's not a necessary component of the game. I'm not sure whether that means you're able to toggle it off or that it's just not a very big component. But regardless, if you're not into survival games, don't let that turn you off from it. That is out, or I already said tomorrow. That's out tomorrow. After that, we have One More Island, which is not our last indie. So it's not One More Indie, but we have One More Island, which is an island-based colonization game. There's a ton of colonization games. So if you're into things like Civ and stuff like that, it's kind of like that. Not a multiplayer component, but basically there's just infinite islands that you can go and set your little societies up onto and get your resources. If you've played any kind of resource management or colonization game like Civ, or Before We Leave or anything like that, it's very similar to those type of games. That is releasing on May 16th, only on Steam currently, but we'll see if it hits other platforms in the future. After that, we have an MMO, which is not very often that you see an indie game with an MMO version, but this is called V Rising. You awaken out of nowhere in a town as a vampire. Your one goal is to hunt for blood in all of the nearby towns. But there's also other players that will try and kill you. There's all kinds of vampire hunters and mythical supernatural beasts, werewolves. So I think it's pretty cool, especially since one of the components they mentioned is that you have to actively try to avoid the sun. So at least for me, back when like Oblivion released, I one time had to restart my game completely because I didn't have any extra saved and I was a vampire and I got stuck out in the woods during the daytime and I had no healing potions, no healing spells. So I could not move without just instantly dying. So I had to throw away like 30 hours. So hopefully it's not that bad, but it looks pretty neat. After that, we have, I'm going to butcher this one's name as well, Umarangi Generation Special Edition. So since it's called a special edition, you can guess it's already had a version released in the past. But this is a photography-based game with a very unique, almost cel-shaded-esque art style. You're kind of exploring this retro futuristic city and documenting all of the events that come to pass. It's already out on Nintendo Switch and PC, but it will be releasing on Xbox day one on Xbox Game Pass. So if you have a subscription to that, you can check it out at no extra cost to yourself. After that, we have the three that I'm most excited. Oh, that's six. Three I'm most excited for. So first we have Shotgun King, the final checkmate. It's chess, but you have shotguns. And it's a roguelike where you have to use strategy to advance. It sounds complicated. It looks amazing. It's only out on Steam right now, but it's also only like $5. So if that description interests you at all, I highly suggest going and checking it out. That released today. You can go and download it right now on Steam. After that, we have Little Witch in the Woods, which is another one that I'm really anticipating. I have been for a while. It leaked on the Korean Facebook Xbox page a couple days ago that was going to hit early access on May 17th. It is also day one on Xbox Game Pass, but in essence, you're an apprentice to a witch. And you get to explore the magical forest that surrounds her cottage, taking care of all of the little critters that you come across and brewing potions, farming materials. It's kind of Stardew-esque, but a lot more magic-based, and I don't think there's a whole lot of combat in it. It's a lot more exploration and taking care of the cute creatures, which I'm never gonna complain about. And then to top this off, we have a Pico, which if you know me, you know that I love bees. And if you like bees, you'll like a Pico. It comes out on May 20th, which is World Bee Day. And it's Stardew Valley, but you take care of bees. You get to create hives, you get to breed the bees, you get to find dozens and dozens and dozens of types of bees throughout the world that you get to explore. You can build your buildings, upgrade your rooms, build all kinds of crafting materials and crates and chests, and it's amazing. I'm really excited for it. It's only coming out to Steam currently, and it is launching into early access. So we are expecting to see some improvements made to it eventually. But I just think it's adorable that they chose World B Day to release the game. And that was just announced earlier today. They announced that Pico's coming on May 20th.
Well, by all accounts, it seems like today is the day to play an indie game, given that the majority
of the games coming out in the next week came out today. I was getting pretty frustrated when I was trying to come up with this list, and every single one was like May 12th, and then you have like 4 games that aren't May 12th, and I was like, cool. Well, I'm glad it's at least May 12th.
Well, I was delighted to see at least on the list that a Pico was there, because I know originally you streamed this when it was in its demo state. I used to stream a Pico.
It's really fun. Yeah. It's a really fun game. You can get, even in the demo, I probably put 5 to 10 hours in that demo, and you can only play a couple of days, I think, in it. You can do a lot. Like there's a lot that you can do in the game. It has a lot of versatility. I think Stardew Vans especially will enjoy how much you can do in it.
And Shotgun King, I mean, is there a greater premise than
no? It's amazing. I just found out about it today, but I'm already in love. When this ends, I will be buying it and playing it. That's my plan for the evening.
Well, that's the greatest review you could ever give a game, isn't it? To just go out and buy it straight away.
Buy it right now. It's $5. What are you going to lose? That's a Subway footlong. You can afford that. Get it.
Well, obviously, there's plenty of indie games ready with what to go and check out, either, I suppose, today at the time of recording this, Thursday, the 12th of May, and possibly once this goes up, even the same day, May 13th, and everything after that. So there's a lot to keep you preoccupied until the next episode next week. Mike, thank you so much for joining me. If you want to go and check over Mike's amazing work over on Twitter for Indie Game Tracker, you can do that by following the Twitter link @IndiesTracker. And yeah, thank you so much.